Hello everyone, Pelites here. Welcome back to Dauntless. In today's video, we're taking a look at the War Pike. Now remember, in this build of the beta, the War Pike was locked behind the Weapon Master reputation. You had to get your reputation with the Weapon Master up to level 4 in order to unlock this bad boy. When I originally picked up the game, it was my favorite weapon because it didn't seem very complicated. But as I started to fight more difficult behemoths, it became a little nuanced in a lot of ways. So if you look at your combos, it seems to be a very straightforward weapon. We have Piercing Fury, which is a quick attack combo, and then Aether Harvester, which is a heavy attack combo. And that's about it. That's about all you're doing. That's your auto attack, your light attack. This is your heavy attack. Now, a thing to note about the heavy attack is it's going to generate your special meter way faster than your light attacks are, and your special meter's up at the top left, and we'll talk about that a little bit more soon. You can roll into attacks and then keep the combo going. Also, on the 5th attack here with Piercing Fury, 3, 4, you can hold it down, and it'll spend some of your stamina, but do an onslaught of attacks. And while that's happening, you're also going to be locked in place as well. You can kind of rotate, but that's about it. You can't move around. The only other attack this has, as far as I know, is a sprinting charge, so you could stab your War Pike into the belly of the beast, but it doesn't really do much damage. What's unique about this weapon is its special, its power, whatever you want to call it. It's all about generating energy, which you might notice that our special meter looks like an energy bar. So at each of those brackets in the energy bar, we can decide whether or not we want to lock that energy in to form a projectile that we can then shoot out at enemies and boop them and stun them, kind of like what you saw with the hammer, but at a significantly longer range. Or if we keep that energy, because the higher our energy bar is, the more damage we're going to be dealing. It scales up. Like once you max it out, you're going to be dealing, I want to say almost double damage than you were without an energy bar. Now, when I started using the weapon, especially again versus these easy monsters, I did find myself wanting to only right-click all of the time. But as you start to dodge attack more, it can become much more difficult to do that. So what I find myself doing now is, let's dodge this attack, there we go. What I find myself doing now is a couple heavies into a couple lights. And that way I can still pretty much interrupt this whenever I want to, you know, with like a half a second warning, and then get out of harm's way, keeping myself safe. This guy's about to fly, so I can show you what the stun looks like. Never mind, no he's not. Not working with me today. But because all of your energy and all of your resource is lost whenever you take any damage, number one, it becomes more difficult of a weapon to solo with. And number two, it becomes a weapon where you have to know the fight pretty intimately. Otherwise, you could find yourself being frustrated. Now, the damage that we are dealing with the War Pike, the red impact damage, is called piercing damage. And this is going to cause these wounds to form. And if our party attacks those wounds, they're going to deal increased damage. I'm kind of waiting for this guy to fly so I can show you how to interrupt him. Now, by holding down our special attack, we get into this stance where we can then charge up this ranged attack and fire it off at our enemy. One of the best things about the War Pike is you can cancel that attack simply by rolling, which is super underrated. And if you're not doing that, you definitely should be. But like I said, when I was learning these fights, I fell into like this false sense of security because I was just waiting for openings like this one here, and then going in and spending a large portion of my stamina simply attacking the boss. Here we go. Here's a fly. What? Seriously? Fly at me? What the fuck? I want to interrupt you. This is the Strike, by the way. We've never shown him in a video. He's basically a big owlbear. This is still a tier 2 difficulty fight, so it's not super hard. I'm gonna go ahead and bank that energy. So if you notice the bar, when I banked all that energy, we gained a second shot of ammunition. But of course, we have to build up that energy again. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing less damage. So it's all about knowing your limits. It's all about monitoring your stamina more so than most other weapons. If you take a look at the left click, you can see that it generates energy much slower. So you are incentivized to really dump your stamina and commit to attacks. It's just difficult to actually pull off in some cases. Let's go ahead and get away from him. He is enraged, so he does a few things different. He always does 2 of these attacks, for instance. Because I didn't have stamina, I couldn't roll away. This looks like he might be going for a fly. Now, unfortunately, he did hit me, but I used one of our ranged attacks to hit him in midair. What actually happened was it knocked off a piece of his hide, so it kind of messed up the presentation, but he could have been stunned in that instance. Okay, he's coming out of this enraged state, so we're going to go in and deal some damage. Notice that as we cut up his skin more and more, you're going to start to see significantly more lacerations, and these lacerations are going to be glowing. The glowing lacerations on his legs mean that that part is about to break, so we're going to cut off that one, and I believe his arm was looking pretty weak too, and we can cut off that one. I really do want to show you a flying stun. I kind of got one, but not really. Come on, bud, give me a fly. Come on. We're going to get one here. There we go. So all we have to do is charge up our long-range special attack, fire it in the general vicinity of his face, and if we hit a pretty clean shot, he is going to be knocked down for quite some time. And you can do this with the hammer as well, but it's so much easier to do with the lance because the timing is a lot more lenient. You don't have to wait until the boss is directly in front of you. You can simply wait. Ooh, lost all that. You can simply wait for him to start the animation that you can stun, which is this right here. And then when he gets hit, he's stunned. It's not a range limitation. It's just use your special ability on that. And you can control bosses pretty well with that. While they're down on the ground, I usually just spam my right click because I'm making opportunities for me actually to be able to generate a pretty sizable amount of charge for my special ability. This is going to be 2 attacks here. Are you going to fly? I'm ready for you. Oh, he's reaching. Let's try to stay away from these logs. But what I find myself doing a lot is just going back and forth between the 2 combos if I need to manage my stamina a bit more than this fight. So 1 and 2 for the right click, and then we'll go for a few attacks with the left click, and then we'll go back into the right click if I have the opportunity. And that allows you to build up that stamina back. You'll notice that the combo for the right click, the heavy attack, excuse me, I guess I should be saying that, picks up right where you left off. So if you're 2 swings in, on the 3rd swing we do this super long animation that you can't roll out of, right? Your animation locked. That's kind of why I got into the sword a little bit more, because you can break your quick attack animation whenever you want to, which is true with this too. I mean, you definitely can. But the damage that your quick attack does with the War Pike is so low. But what I've been doing to manage my stamina a bit more is charging up 2 of those heavies, and then just going into a bunch of lights, and then going back into heavies. And usually it's just a couple in here, so there's 2 heavies, 1, 2, 3, and then it picks up right where it left off. So I'm using the full right-click combo, just with a delay in the middle for when I have an opportunity to actually attack. I hope that made sense. So if I just spammed this, I'd be using up stamina like crazy, but we attack until our stamina regenerates, and then we finish off our heavy combo. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Man, it took me forever to find this guy. So now that I have a few shots saved up with my special and I can use those at will, my new goal is just to get my meter as high as possible so I can deal maximum damage. And again, when I know I have these openings, we're going to go in with just a bunch of heavy attacks. And then I'm actually just going to roll through this. I just want to build up this thing. Because I want to finish him off as quick as I can, right? But again, when you take damage, you are going to lose all of that. So the War Pike, more so than just about any other weapon, I truly do believe, maybe comparative to the axe, requires you to know the fights and know the tells of the beast significantly more. And I'm playing like crap today, but I hope that shows. If you're having an off day, it can really, like, just mess with your ego as far as the War Pike goes. Fly into me, bud. But at the end of the day, that is just so satisfying that it usually makes up for it. So I'm going to keep my energy high and try to not take any damage and manage my stamina. That's why stamina management is so important, because I easily could have continued to hit this guy for quite a bit of damage. But because I used so much stamina with my heavy attacks, he punished me by not allowing me to roll away. Or I punished myself by not being able to roll away. That stun is just so damn satisfying, though. I do love it so much. So I think he's going to come out of his berserking soon. So I'm not going to cap my energy yet. I'm not going to turn it into ammunition. I'm just going to keep swinging, keep attacking. And now that he's getting up, I'm going to roll away and bank that into a shot. And then start to build that up again. There's no way he's living much longer, though. He's about to hit the bucket. By the way, where did the kick the bucket phrase come from? Anybody know? That doesn't make any sense. How is that an analogy for death? But that is the War Pike, a weapon that you can truly stand out with if you are a master of the behemoth fight and a master of stamina management. The boops that the weapon is capable of doing are super fun and super engaging, and by far my favorite part of using the weapon. And I do think it plays better in groups because someone else is going to be taking the attention of the boss. So that allows you to get in there behind it and actually deal more damage and have more of a window to DPS. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.